Wrestling fans, I'm Dan Marotti.
And I'm Mr. USA Tony Atlas, 06 WWE Hall of Famer.
And that's just one of 3 Hall of Fames he's in. Stand by, and brand new MWF Ultra is coming up next.
This is Mick Foley.
This is Harley Race.
This is Shelton Benjamin.
This is Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
This is the Monster Abyss.
And this is Daniel Bryan.
This is JBL, and you're watching the MWF.
Be there live.
All right, wrestling fans, it is so great to be back in the saddle, Tony, to have you as my partner in crime here instead of that sleazebag that's been here previously, Mr. Cena. The fans are buzzing about what we have coming right down the street at Memorial Hall Saturday night, December the 28th. Last week we looked back at some great action. We want to pack Memorial Hall, and it's like a reunion, Tony. It's a homecoming. There's a lot of love right now.
Yes, yeah. Well, you know, Massachusetts has always been a great state from pro wrestling. You know, I remember coming up here back when it was a WWF, and then I remember coming up here when it was a WWF, and I even made a visit up here in Massachusetts when it was a WWE. So, but of all 3 events, this is one I'm more excited about. Because with all these events that I've been here, I never got a chance to sit down and do a Q&A and talk to the people and sign the picture for them and shake the hand and tell them stories and hear their story. This time, it's going to be personal for me. So I'm really, really looking forward to it, to wrestling, showing the people that I still got it, and to show the people how much I appreciate their support over the many, many years.
All right, Tony. Last week we basically gave away the date, the location, things like that. We talked a little bit about tickets. We showed that great retro match between Daniel Bryan and Tommaso Ciampa when Daniel Bryan was an active WWE US champion. This week we have more great in-ring action. We're going to get to that in a few minutes, but we have a talent announcement that's not just great for the fans, but it's great for the up-and-coming elite independent athletes if they really want to learn not just how to do wrestling moves, but what it's like to be a full-time professional wrestler. Fans, we're very happy that for you, you get the autograph photo meet and greet, and you're going to get a man that earlier in the afternoon for the independent wrestlers, Tony, if they choose to partake, WWE Hall of Famer and current WWE talent scout, Jerry Brisco, is going to be with us. And you talk about an opportunity, Tony, for some of these wrestlers to take part in Jerry's seminar. Not only is Jerry going to sit down for 3 hours with these great independent talents, but 2 talents that are not booked on the event. Jerry is going to book a match out of that seminar as part of the MWF Holiday Headlocks event December the 28th.
Oh, wow.
You talk about an opportunity, not just to get a spot on a great show, but to have Jerry Brisco, a guy whose job is to find talent for WWE, to have him book the match. I think that's phenomenal.
Oh, it's fantastic. You know, Jerry Brisco, me and him, he had his brother Jack and Jerry Brisco. When they was tag team, they were one of the best tag team in the world. And Jack Brisco was former NWA world champion at one time. So it's a long history there, and they're old friends of mine. I've been knowing the Brisco brothers going all the way back to the 70s. So I got like a 45-year relationship, almost a 50-year relationship with Jerry Brisco. And he's going to tease me a lot. But that's how old friends do.
You know what you're going to talk about, you're going to laugh about, a certain body part.
Yes, and he really get a kick out of it. And we've been joking and teasing each other for the past, almost over 40 years that I know for sure, because I first met him back in 1975. So when I add all that up, that's a good 40, 45 years right there. So it's going to be wonderful seeing him. And he's a wonderful individual, one of the toughest SOBs you're on in the media life. He had a great amateur. You look up his background, had a great amateur background, Native American, one of the very few Native American. Most people didn't know he was Native American, or he didn't dress like Wahoo McDaniel or Tatanka.
Portray an Indian.
He didn't portray an Indian, but wonderful individual, very knowledgeable about wrestling. You can ask him, he's been with some of the great, like Hulk Hogan, Harley Race, Dusty Rhodes. He could name wrestlers, all the great wrestlers that ever been in the past wrestling world, I would say for the last 50 years, Jerry Brisco even met, talked, or wrestled, or compete against. It's going to be a great, great opportunity for a lot of fans out there to meet the one and only great Jerry Brisco.
That's it, Tony. It's almost like you flip the coin and you win either way. For the fans, you get to meet a WWE Hall of Famer, get an autograph, get a picture taken. As we mentioned in different episodes when we talked about the WrestleCon experience, WrestleMania weekend, as opposed to WWE Fan Access, at our events, we like for it to be a very interactive experience. So
Right.
the fans really, they don't just get a picture and they hustle through the line like cattle. They get a memory to take home with them.
Exactly.
Almost like our show Memories and Legends that we do as
That's
part
right.
of our talk
That's
show
right.
series. But on the flip side, Tony, you talk about these young and upcoming athletes. They, I would like to think, get into the professional wrestling industry because they want to become a full-time professional wrestler. And financially, is there really any place you'd rather want to be long-term as a full-time professional wrestler than WWE? We're giving the athletes on the roster and all independent wrestlers, as long as they're trained, a chance to participate in this 3-hour in-depth seminar with Jerry, where Jerry's not just going to look at them, evaluate them, but he's going to take two that aren't on the current roster, and he's going to book them in a match on the live event. I mean, I think an independent wrestler would be nuts to not want to take part in that.
Yes. And you know, Jerry Brisco have a lot of influence with Vince. He's one of our WWE top advisors. He's been with the company
Since the mid-'80s.
Since the mid-'80s, so he got a long history. He worked a lot around Florida, Georgia, Texas, Japan, Australia, New Zealand. This guy had been everywhere. He have done everything, and he have been put up against some of the best wrestlers that are of the past. So this is a great opportunity. And to be honest with you, even though I've been knowing him for the past 40-some years, I'm looking forward to seeing him again myself.
It's going to be fun. Jerry's become a great friend. Well, he's been a great friend to you for 40 years. He's been a great friend to us since we had him with us in New York City as part of WrestleMania week. That was great. And we're going to continue the good times.
Close, you know, he's very up close and personal with all the fans. He was very up close and personal with all the fans.
Did you think, Tony, that in July of 2019, Jerry would win the WWE 24/7 championship belt at his senior age, maybe is a nice way to put it?
Well,
On the Raw reunion, he won the 24/7 championship for a few minutes. Isn't that something?
Well,
it shows that anything can happen in this crazy business.
Yes, yes. But, and with the Briscoes, no, I was not surprised.
All right,
He
well,
had won so many titles over the years, you know. Like, you know, a leopard don't change his spots.
do you think Pat Patterson liked having to lay down for him? Well, I didn't mean it quite like that, but I didn't mean it quite like that, Tony, but that's all right. Fans can read into that what they like.
To each his own.
But again, you talk about a lineup we're adding a lot of sizzle to. We got the Hall of Famer Tony Atlas. We got Hall of Famer Jerry Brisco coming in. We have more great superstars known around the world we're working on with Tony, President Reese, myself, and Chairman Neil Manolian. It's a great time for the MWF. We're going to make this homecoming one the fans are going to remember forever.
The Guns of Atlas.
What's amazing, Tony, is that even, again, you're not 25 years old anymore,
But I'm
your
still-
guns are so big you actually ripped the T-shirt arms. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, but it don't
That's
matter.
strength.
A leopard never changes its spots. And if you get me fired up, the people get behind me.
And it's all for a great cause, Tony. It's the culmination
is.
of our 8th annual Paul Bearer Holiday Headlocks Toy
Yeah.
Drive. And that means so much to me. You know, some of the last events we had at Memorial Hall, they were very difficult. It was right after Paul Bearer passed. We lost a guy that was part of the everyday aspect of the MWF and all of Boston wrestling. But you know what? Instead of being somber about his passing, we're coming back now from the point of view of let's celebrate all of the great things Paul
That's
Bearer
right.
did. Let's help some of these kids, because I'm going to tell you this, Tony. I know you have your daughter, and I have the little Maraudis that have been in my life. To think of, granted, it's not a life and death condition, but for the kid to wake up on Christmas morning, and for whatever reason, Santa Claus's GPS forced them to miss the house, that's a sad thought. And anything, anytime, any year, we can do something to help those charities that help the kids, make sure they have a great Christmas. That's something I'm proud to be a part of.
That's wonderful. I got to commend you for saying that.
You're a big part of it now, too.
Yeah, man, I said pretty much the same thing on Legend House.
Yep.
We're called a records between me and Hacksaw
You did.
Jim Duggan.
You did.
But it was pretty much on the same land. My mother, even though she didn't have much as we grew up, if she saw a neighbor child that needed some help or had no place to go or nothing to eat, she would bring that child to the house. She said, "You sit at the table, you eat with my boys there." Or here's a nice coat that my boy no longer needs. I would like for you to have it. So I understand where you're coming from, and I commend you on that.
It's easy to realize that people are doing better than you, but in almost every circumstance, you're always going to find someone doing worse, too.
Yeah. And the good law say, our Lord and Savior say, when you do for the least of thee, you also do upon me.
Maybe he was talking about Reno Chastain. All right, Tony, we're going to take a brief timeout, then we're going to go retro with some fantastic Millennium Wrestling Federation in-ring action. Stand by.
Trenton at WWE Live. Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman will face the OC's Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson in Raw Tag Team title action.
It's that same old recipe. It's a magic killer, a 1, 2, 3, and a just too sweet.
We'll take on anyone that wants to step up and challenge us for these tag titles.
Don't miss when WWE Live comes to Trenton, Saturday, October 19th. Tickets and WWE Superstar Experience packages are available this Friday.
I'm Dan Marotti.
And I'm John Cena Sr.
Let us tell you how the action and excitement of the Millennium Wrestling Federation can help raise cash for your nonprofit cause. Experience the action and excitement of the Millennium Wrestling Federation live in your city, throughout New England, the tri-state area, down through the Carolinas, out to our friends in the Midwest and beyond.
If your nonprofit organization is looking for an interactive turnkey experience while putting the fun into fundraising, you've met the perfect tag team partner to work with every step of the way.
The MWF offers a variety of packages for groups of almost any size, from our live events at the Boston Garden, the Kowloon Entertainment Dining Complex, and the legendary Suffolk Downs, to high school gyms and function halls. We've presented live events everywhere and anywhere.
Since 2001, the MWF's mission has been simple: keep the kids off the streets. Under the leadership of President David Reese, we bring the superstars of yesterday, today, and tomorrow to your town. Not for a wrestling show, but an event that features action-packed in-ring wrestling, autograph, pose photo opportunities, Q&A sessions, and so much more. It's the best of sports and entertainment. The week of your event, we can add on to the endeavor with anti-bullying campaigns, library meet and greet reads, youth sport concussion seminars, and more.
Our live events are fit for fans of any age from 5 to 95. This fall is part of our new Kids Club program. We offer live event experiences exclusively for the youngest of fans. On the flip side, we can produce a tailor-made event for fans of an older demographic as well. We work with you every step of the way to get the word out to fans near and far on our local television offerings and to over 50,000 fans and growing on our social media platforms.
Your success is our success. If your group has had enough of candy bar and wrapping paper sales and has the energy to team with our passionate fan base, bringing the NWF experience to your community is the answer to put smiles on faces while raising cash for your cause.
Contact us today to get the ball rolling for your custom-made event that you'll want to bring back year after year to your community.
Don't just take it from us. Here are the folks we've teamed up with in the past.
All right, wrestling fans, welcome back. I'm Dan Marotti.
And I'm Mr. USA Tony at this WWE 2006 Hall of Famer, baby!
He took the words right out of my mouth, literally. We're excited about the MWF's return to Memorial Hall, December the 28th. Don't forget, we have big news coming in the month of November about our return to the great city of Somerville. And a big event I can't even talk about by name yet, but that's more into 2020. Right now, we're focused on December the 28th. But right now, Tony, we're going to flash back to one of my favorite matches. I believe I have seen every match in the 18-year history of the Millennium Wrestling Federation. A gentleman that you and I both got to know very well when he was younger. We're talking about Todd Hansen, who went on to become Warbeard Hanson in Japan and Ring of Honor, who WWE brought to NXT and then reinvented him on Monday Night Raw every week now, is Ivar of the Viking Raiders. Flashing back to 2007 when Hansen defended the MWF Heavyweight Championship against Chris Sabin, well known from Ring of Honor and TNA, one of the great athletes of this century. I'm a huge Chris Sabin fan, but Todd, to see where he is right now, Tony, he used to come to this studio every Sunday night to work on his craft, his verbal ability, different promos and interviews and building up our live events. To see him go from 2001 setting up our ring, 2002 being here every Sunday night in this very building, now to see him every Monday night on Raw, someone that's still true to his heart and who he was as a kid growing up. It's a great thing because he's just genuinely a good human being. If you're a dad that brings your son to a wrestling event, I'd want that kid to follow the path of Todd, because not only has he found success, not only is he living his lifelong dream, he's still a wonderful, fantastic human being, and I have all the admiration in the world for him.
It goes back to what I said earlier, what a great country we live in.
Isn't it something?
Great country. If you put your nose to the grindstone and you're ready to work hard and follow the rules, the sky is the limit.
There were a lot of places that portrayed...
And this is what we could call him the American dream.
Todd Hansen is the American dream. Or
he had a dream, he's in the right country to dream, and the dream came true.
Viking of R right now is the American dream on
It's
Monday
a new American
Night
dream,
Raw.
brother. He's living, and people say, he's living the dream.
I tell you, just a person with high character, a quality person. He had size, he had a good look, and there were a lot of promotions that miscast him as some comedy goof with the mirror, but in the MWF, we stayed true to who he was, and that evolution with him continued over the years, and he wound up where he is now. And of all the people that have been here in the MWF that have found success on a national level, there is no one that I am more proud of than him, as I consider him to be a great, great friend. Not just someone in the wrestling world, but, you know, I helped him with a job back when I knew Linda Marotti in the early 2000s. One of the few wrestling people I ever allowed in the home and helped me babysit the kid when he was younger. We had some fun adventures like that. So Todd Hansen will always mean a lot to me and will always mean a lot to the Millennium Wrestling Federation. Right now, Tony, let's flash back to the fall of 2007. Todd Hansen defends the gold against Chris Sabin. Todd Hansen defends the MWF Heavyweight Championship against TNA superstar Chris Sabin of the Motor City Machine Guns. This is Todd Hansen's biggest test to date, as he takes on a man you can see every Thursday night on Spike TV, TNA Impacts, Chris Sabin. Sabin is a four-time TNA X Division champion. He and Alex Shelley right now are top contenders for the TNA Tag Team Championship. He's come to the Millennium Wrestling Federation as President Cena's TNA invasion continues. Tonight, it's Hansen and Sabin one-on-one for 15 pounds of gold. To tie up, Todd Hansen uses what must be a power advantage over Sabin right here. Referee for this matchup is Zach E. Carter. Look at that, Hansen twists out of it. Down goes Sabin. Sabin with a bridge to get out of that pin attempt. Nip up right there. Two struggling for position early on here in a big main event. What a matchup with Eddie Edwards and Tommaso Ciampa. Scott Reed and Furio Falcone tore down the house. Sledge Robertson and Mike Nice, I don't even know what to say about that. Right there, Sabin uses his wrestling expertise, and he's got Hansen down. Nice maneuver right there. Wearing down Hansen's knee and arm at the same time. I don't expect to see much of Chris Sabin on top of the MWF Heavyweight Champion right here. Sabin needs to use his speed and agility to his advantage to knock the big champion off his feet. Hansen, likewise, he should be trying to use his power as much as humanly possible. Right there, he's got him in a front face lock. Carter in there to make sure that it isn't a choke. Sabin able to get out of it, and he knocks Hansen down. I'm very surprised by this. Pin attempt from the champion. Not even a 1 count. Two athletes going at it one-on-one. We're not going to see any scumbags like we saw at the Uprising earlier tonight. Two men going at it for pride and championship gold. That's what it's all about here in the Millennium Wrestling Federation. Look at that, Hansen right there trying to cut off the oxygen supply. That would be my guess. Using his leverage on Sabin's face right there. You may have noticed Hansen pulled him to the center of the ring so he couldn't reach the ropes and be forced to break the hold. Sabin able to get out of it, and now he's trying to do the same to Hansen's knees. Very different than what I expected. Hansen rolls out of it. And right now we're even Steven with these two athletes. What a treat for the fans here in the MWF. What a main event to kick off 2008. They tie up again. Look at that. Hansen wrenching on the wrist of Sabin. I would guess it would be wise maybe to try and take out one of Sabin's legs so he isn't able to run around and fly around the ring. Sabin isn't known for being a powerhouse. Right there, another nip up from Sabin. Cartwheel. Flips over again, and look at that arm drag. Hansen down. Wait a minute. Hansen cuts him off. Looked like he was going to go for a pin attempt. No, Sabin has Hansen down. He's out at the 1. What wrestling action. And that's exactly what this is. Professional wrestling. Sports entertainment can go to hell in 2008. This is what this great sport is all about. We're proud to have Chris Sabin here in the MWF roster. He could be walking out of here tonight as our champion, the face of the MWF. Hansen picks him up. No. Sabin holding on with all he's got off the ropes. And Sabin doesn't go down. Hansen looks frustrated. And then again, you know, this pressure on Sabin. Coming from national television here to the MWF, a regional New England promotion. And he's not having an easy time with the MWF Heavyweight Champion. Goes for a big clothesline. Sabin rolls out of the way, drop kicks Hansen. Hansen goes to the floor. Flying crossbody from Chris Sabin. Todd Hansen is down, but you cannot win a championship on the floor. He has to the count of 10 to get Hansen back into the ring. What good is a count-out victory? Well, maybe he was just trying to recuperate for a second out there. He knew he had the time. Hansen out at 2. Maybe if he rolled him in the ring a little bit sooner, he could have had that pinfall attempt. Right hand right there from Sabin, make it 2. Trifecta right there. Hansen still not down. What we're going to see right here, Sabin signaling for something. He's going to try and suplex Todd. Todd must have a good 40, 50-pound weight advantage over Chris Sabin. And not enough to suplex him over. Sabin going to town right now on Todd Hansen's knee, trying to take away that power base that the champion has. No, Hansen reverses it. Not enough small package. Could this be it? 2, 2.5. Hansen's out. Look at that. Sabin back to the aerial attack. Hansen down again. 2 count. And no more as the champion powers out. Sabin now is beginning to look frustrated that he can't put Todd Hansen away. Kick to the head. Well, Sabin's been a rule breaker in the past in the sport of professional wrestling. When championship gold is on the line, sometimes the athletes will revert to anything to come away with the win. Again, we talked about pride and athleticism. There's also a lot of money on the line when you have that gold around your waist. Hansen using some of those big rights to pound away on Sabin. Sabin with a couple of forearms. Snaps over Todd Hansen off the ropes. Drop kick to the back of the head. Not a good feeling. Hansen out just at the 2 count. Now, what are we going to see right here? Trying to stretch every orifice of Todd Hansen's body right there. Wait a minute, this could be a submission type maneuver. I'm unfamiliar with this. That drop kick to the back of Todd Hansen's head, it was like a bullet hit him. And now Sabin's wearing away on his entire upper body. Caught her right in there to make sure that we don't see a submission. Hansen fighting with everything he's got, and he gets his foot on the bottom rope. Sabin has 5 to break. Todd Hansen's dream came true back on August the 4th when he ended Sudden Impact Dylan Cage's almost 4-year reign as MWF Heavyweight Champion. Paul Bearer's trifecta was annihilated that night thanks to Hansen. Right here, he's having a tough outing to kick off 2008. Look at that! Flying elbow from Chris Sabin. High flyer goes to the middle rope. Goes for a cross body, but Hansen's got enough in the gas tank. Face first, down to the mat goes Sabin. Hansen cannot capitalize with a pinfall attempt right away. He hooks the leg, Sabin out at 2. The action is back and forth between these two competitors. Big knee from Todd Hansen across the forehead of Chris Sabin. Hansen picks Sabin up right there. Looks like he's going to go for a big suplex attempt. Up goes Sabin, and he's making him think about it. Down goes Sabin. MWF Heavyweight Champion back with momentum on his side. Sabin again still out before the 2 count. Sabin is exhausted. Look at that, another big knee from Todd Hansen. Fans, I understand that due to time constraints, if this matchup is to continue, I should say if it doesn't end here on Ultra, it'll continue on the January MWF Extra, which is the debuting John Cena Sr. show. I know you fans want to see a conclusion. I want to see a conclusion. But this doesn't seem to be an end in sight right now as these two athletes continue to battle away. Hansen tosses Sabin halfway across the ring to the other pole. Pinfall attempt right here. 1, 2. No, Sabin kicks out at 2. I also understand we're going to have exclusive comments from President Cena and Commissioner Von Johnson on the newsline on MWFProWrestling.com. Check out that website. President Cena has more news about the February MWF Ultra as well as Night of Champions March 29th. But we're seeing a championship matchup right here. Look at that! Sabin again. Wait a minute. We've seen this before. Todd Hansen is a big man going to foreign land right now. Hansen goes to the top. This is Sabin territory. Sabin moves out of the moonsault. Every ounce of oxygen knocked out of Todd Hansen's body. Sabin has time to recuperate from the pounding he's taken from Hansen in this match. Fans, we have less than 4 minutes left on MWF Ultra. Again, this will continue on MWF Extra if this match does not end here. Sabin trying to get his second win, charges at Hansen. No, up, over. Sabin lands on the apron. nails him in the midsection, wrenches Hansen's neck across the top rope. He's done a good job working over Hansen's neck in this match. Sabin up to the top rope this time. Missile drop kick. He's worn down, he doesn't go for the pin. This could be a big mistake from Chris Sabin. He should go for the kill. He wants that championship. He wants to bring the MWF Heavyweight Championship to total non-stop action. Wait a minute, reverse thrust kick to the midsection of Todd Hansen. Drop kick, down goes Hansen. We have less than 3 minutes left on Ultra. 1 hour time limit for this big matchup. And we're only about 13 minutes in. Sabin with the super kick. Down goes Hansen. This could be it. 1, 2, 3, no! 2 7/8. I thought we had a new MWF Heavyweight Champion. That looked like a 3 count to me. Hansen narrowly gets the shoulder up. Sabin was sitting on Hansen as opposed to pinning Hansen. Unbelievable action. And Hansen is lucky to still be champion as of this moment. Sabin's trying to get Hansen up. Hansen, I don't know if he was too heavy or if he was able to power out of it. Goes for a clothesline with a standing Hurricane. No, we've seen that earlier tonight. Hansen, big sit-down powerbomb. Could that be a 2? No! Sabin kicks out. We have less than 2 minutes left on this program, fans. If the match does not end, it will continue on MWF Extra. And again, we'll have exclusive comments from John Cena Sr. and Commissioner Von Johnson available on MWFProWrestling.com, hopefully at the end of this program. 2 athletes giving it everything they got. What's Hansen going to go for now? Does he want to hit the big Hansen kick? Sabin ducks the Hansen kick. Enziguri to the back of Hansen's head. The champion does not go down. Hansen's up. Hansen's out. Sets up Sabin. Hansen kick. Could this be it? 1, 2, 3. Todd Hansen retains the MWF Heavyweight Championship over TNA superstar Chris Sabin. What athleticism in action in this main event. You saw 2 championship matches tonight. You're not going to see anywhere else. It's the Hansen generation. Continues in 2008 and beyond here in the MWF. What an effort from Chris Sabin. Moments ago, I thought he had the 3 count with that super kick. Todd Hansen did the unthinkable, fans. Check out MWFProWrestling.com for more. All right, wrestling fans, welcome back to MWF Ultra. I'm Dan Marotti, Tony Atlas. Tony, what a match up there with Todd Hansen and Chris Sabin from the archives. We got a lot of great stuff in those archives with so many future stars, current superstars, and legends.
Well, you know, that's why we want to tell people always tune in to Boston Wrestling, because we're not repetition. You're not going to see the same guy, the same thing over and over and over. There's no repeats here. What you're going to see is going to be fresh and brand new. Some matches that you hadn't seen or heard of before, you will see here. So you keep looking at Boston Wrestling, and you're going to see the past, the present, and the future all in one spot. We are the new Walmart.
All right, well, I don't know if I'd want to be that, but...
Well, you go to one store and get anything you need.
If we could make Walmart's money, I think it's a good idea.
Well, that's up to the fans. If the fans come out and support us the way they did over the years with WWE and all the other great organizations, every organization, including the WWE, was built by the support of the fans. So we're hoping that you great fans out there, you great Americans out there, will support us in our effort, because Dan Marotta don't only keep the life of wrestlers alive. He used us wrestlers and himself and his own money in order to help those that's less fortunate than himself. So when you tune into Boston Wrestling, you attend one of our events, you're not only helping the wrestlers to make a living, you're not only getting great entertainment by the wrestlers, and you also is helping a lot of great people, and like we doing things for cancer, we do things for schools, we do things for those that need help.
Christmas.
And it's Christmas. And this is a coat drive, so you know.
No, not a coat drive, a toy drive.
Toy drive.
Close.
When I was a kid, we didn't get toys. Excuse me for Miss Speaker, but you have done things for people to get coats. See, Dad have done so many things for so many people that sometimes I get confused about exactly what this event is all about, because every event he's doing something different for someone else, trying to help somebody else to live the American dream.
It's how I was brought into wrestling. I really appreciate you saying that. I feel a little odd because I don't do a lot of these things to get publicity for it, but Tony
Do it out of
Rumble,
the goodness of your heart.
look at how Tony Rumble brought me into the wrestling.
Yeah.
Look at how Paul Bearer
And
taught
Tony
me
did a
about
lot of
wrestling.
great work
Yep.
for the DARE program.
He sure did.
You know, so
He sure did.
was the
So I look at
pioneer-
it as like
he was the pioneer of giving back.
we're just carrying on what other good people
Yeah.
started. That's how I look
And I
at
like
it. but-
Boston wrestling because they don't only, they're not in it for the money, not in it for the glory. They're in it to give back to the community. So if I can say anything about Boston wrestling and Dan Morella and the event we have, it's a community event.
Unbelievable. All right, Tony, I know I'm pumped up about Jerry Brisco's return to the Boston area for the 1st time.
I'm very excited about that.
I don't know how long. I know it's funny enough. Jerry competed at the King of the Ring 2000 pay-per-view here in Boston against Pat Patterson in a hardcore match, but this is going to be a little different. We're not going to see anything like you saw at King of the Ring 2000, but for those independent wrestlers, if you have the time on December the 28th to be in Melrose to take part in that seminar, I think the independent wrestlers would be crazy not to, not only to perhaps earn a spot on the event booked by Jerry himself, but to learn from someone that's doing this job for WWE. If you want to go to WWE, I don't know why you wouldn't want to do it. Maybe you'll even stop by and chime in.
It's going to be a great experience. December the 28th, Melrose.
And before we go, Tony, let's talk a little bit about next week. We're going to take an in-depth look at one of the elite factions that was ever part of the Millennium Wrestling Federation. We're talking about the Uprising faction. At first, it was owned by John Cena Sr. Then your buddy, John Bradshaw Layfield, invested a great deal of money from his energy drink company into this faction, only for it to find its way into the hands of John Cena Sr. and his little Virgil club Cam Zagami nowadays. From what I understand, Johnny is coming back to the studio, and I don't like it. I know you've encouraged a Zen kumbaya relationship between Johnny and I, but for what that man put this organization through, I cannot say that I don't hate him. And I know you're not big on that, but it's how I feel. He hurt a lot of people trying to move everything we did here in the MWF down to the Carolinas. And now, thanks to you, thanks to Dr. Reese, thanks to Chairman Manolian, we're coming back home. So at least something positive is happening now for it, baby. Yes. I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I don't want to see John Cena Sr. in the studio, though. I don't like him. I hate him. Do we need Dr. Phil to come in? Well, we have Dr. Reese. He's the next best thing, right?
Spring low,
oh, here we go with
sweet chariot.
Well, I know in the flashback video we have next week, you'll be thrilled. A great video. JBL, Tommaso Ciampa of NXT, and Slick Wagner Brown confronted John Cena Sr. in the loading dock here in this studio to our right. A very memorable experience. It'll put a smile on my face. But for my paisan, my brother, my partner in crime, I'm Dan Marotti. We'll see you tomorrow on a brand new Wrestling Insiders, 11 a.m. Be well.